Exhilarate in perpetual happiness. October 6, 2013. Remember back to a time, dear ones, where you may have been stuck in your home for several days, possibly due to the weather or illness, and when you finally were able to get up and out, how exhilarating it felt to feel the sunshine bathe you in its warmth, or the breeze sweep through your hair gave you such a powerful and welcoming feeling. Imagine your current life that is often described as meaningless for some, filled with this exhilarated feeling of a greater purpose for life. Living a spiritual life is no distant dream, dear ones. It has always been available to you, and you are more than able to emerge from your current life, including all its many challenges, into a life filled with spiritual grace. Each step you take, you are surrounded by spirit, and some who are extra sensitive can feel their presence just as the breeze touches their skin. It is important to be able to feel all around you, to know that there is more around you than just the birds and the trees. There is a richness in the air you breathe, and it's filled with life and vitality. What we wish for every dear soul to experience is a sharing of the deepest of values that is met with sincerity and acceptance, to see every dear soul filled with divine soulfulness that speaks of the purity of their heart in all they do and say. We know this kind of perfect way of living and being among one another is still yet a difficult place to reach, as many dear souls are still filled with fears, and their fears breed ignorance and falsehood. We, however, hope and believe that when you make the conscious choice to bring change to you, you are also bringing change to the world. You cannot bring change to a mass of people regardless where they congregate unless you are able to bring change to yourself that is recognizable, and the changes flow naturally as your true and authentic self shines brightly for all those that will look upon what you have done, and you suddenly become a role model, someone to aspire to. It is true. Changes to society and its people take time, one person at a time. It is a long process that each person that accepts the responsibility to bring positive change understands that the commitment required is absolute, if a successful outcome is to occur. Even with knowing bringing change to the entire world and its people to live a more harmonious life will take a while to make it happen, you are still able individually to raise your consciousness and seek guidance from divine beings of light that will direct you to new and exciting areas that will require your focus, that will illuminate a brighter and more jovial life in all its aspects. The goodness you receive from being able to connect to God and other divine beings provides you with a profound feeling of connectedness, and this feeling is carried with you wherever you go. And even though many dear souls that walk past you are not on the same wavelength of consciousness, they too are affected by the divine energy you are emitting. It is an exhilarating energy, one that promotes change that will bring you into deeper depths of happiness and peace. Your serene stance that is filled with the presence and connection to God and to the energy that constantly moves around will attract people to be near you, just because of your peaceful demeanor. Each person is able to create an atmosphere of peace, and this air will always be with you, and it will bring more dear souls along your path that you will connect with, even from the smallest of ways, like sharing a smile, asking for directions, or from buying a beverage at one of your many little stores. The goodness that you feel in your heart is shared with others. Carrying on that goodness, providing a sense of goodwill wherever you go, is key to developing the divine qualities for each person that will reside within the new earth. Each of you are responsible for all newness that comes into your existence. You may think that the personal changes you bring only affect you and the ones closest to you, but in truth, all you do, all the energy you emit is felt by others. The more good and positive choices you make, the higher vibrations you create, and this is good, dear ones. Eventually all the good and positive vibrations each of you have created will infect others with the power of will that is strong and positive, not the kind of will that brings harm, but good, peace and happiness, and all this is found through the powers of love, compassion and respect. It is understood, dear ones, that normal happiness flows in and out of your life like a breeze. Your most favorable reactions to certain events promote your happiness. But what if, dear ones, you are already filled with happiness even without a reason, just for the joy of being? This kind of true happiness can be reached, but it comes from finding peace within, not affected by the imaginative demands life can often have. Surely you have been witness to such people that continuously exuberate pure joy and happiness of simply being. These souls are always selflessly giving, their heart is apparent in all they do, they are confident and are easily immersed into the fears, delights and successes of others, they share their fears, their delights and their successes as if they are one and the same. It is wonderfully empowering to be in the company of such people. Their energy is extraordinary and has the ability to propel those around them to do more that will increase happiness in their own life. The biggest reason why happiness is so difficult to attain for great lengths of time, dear ones, is because too often your life is only seen through your ego consciousness. When you finally step away from the controlling clutches of the ego and from feeling separated, you are then able to truly connect with others, with life and with a deeper part of yourself, and through all this wonderful connections you are making, you are also giving birth to the possibility of peace and happiness being a lasting part of your life. Contemplate and understand, dear ones, self-givingness and the ego are polar opposites. In truth, your ego is responsible for any unhappiness, whereas any act of self-givingness provides a perpetual feeling of deep and profound happiness and joy that is embraced by peace and nourishes every part of your whole self. As you learn to be more giving, that is based on pure unconditional love, joy is created and felt by you and by those you are sharing and giving to. As you continue to move through the power of love, you begin to lose more of your ego and its negative tendencies. You will feel more enjoyment in all things and in yourself spread throughout your whole self. The more you discover of your true authentic identity, the more your own soul evolves and joy comes peeking through, as it is no longer covered up by illusions or falseness, and you are able to transcend into experiencing ultimate joy, which is the enjoyment and bliss rediscovered, a way of living God has always wanted for each of you. Changes take time, dear ones, you cannot rush them, and you must work through them and understand each glorious step you take. Never underestimate yourself, give yourself the credit you divinely deserve. You have worked hard bringing in the changes you have already, and you will continue to grow and develop, and this growth will happen one step at a time. The more effort you apply to connecting to the divine beings of light and with God, the more exhilarating your experiences of life will be. I am Melchizedek through Julie Miller. spiritualnetworks.com